Often when I'm browsing around the internet, I stumble across different course creators and influencers of sorts who promise to be able to show you how to get an online store up and running in a matter of hours and to make $1 million in a matter of days. And I often look at those and I think these guys, these ladies, they might be over promising and they might be hiding a lot of the steps that actually go into creating a successful online store. If anybody is looking to me to give you an overnight win, $1 million plan, an overnight sensational win, then you're in the wrong place, because I'm the one that is here being honest and telling you that it's not as easy as a lot of people might make it out to seem. There's like these YouTube videos that I chuckle whenever I see it, where it's like a 16-year-old driving a Ferrari down Vegas Boulevard, claiming that he made all of his money online, and maybe he did, and good for him. But he also promises that it's as easy for everybody else to replicate that exact same process. And I wish it was. I wish that I was able to find that solution for myself. And if I did, I'd share it with you. But in truth, a lot of the time, it actually does take a lot of work. It takes a bunch of steps and it takes perseverance. That's the most important thing. But if somebody were to ask me, and I get this question from time to time, if they were to say, like, what is the easiest way to get started, like the quickest way to get into the game, then that is something that I can share with you. And that's what we're going to talk about right now, is the 4 steps that I want to say are going to be the quickest way for you to get into the game. Because once you get past the starting line, well, you're now in the match and you can play and you can make some money online if you have that perseverance, and if you're actually going to create this from like a startup online store into a online business. And those steps are more after what we speak about today. But when I get this question of what is the easiest way to get started, the quickest steps to follow to be able to get online, well, then that's what I wanted to summarize into this video, because there are some quick actions. I'm a big proponent, I'm a big ambassador for minimum viable product, for getting into the game, for being able to get your products in front of customers as quick as possible. And the steps that I'm going to share with you right now will allow you to do that. And the first step is actually getting products. So step number 1 is finding products to sell online. And maybe you already have products. Maybe you have your own product range that you make yourself, and that's amazing. So you're just looking for the next couple steps. But I also know that there's a lot of people who look at e-commerce and they know that it is a wonderful opportunity. They know that it's growing. They know that they want to get in, especially now as the industry is growing and booming. Like, now's a great time to get in. But a lot of those people, they don't have their own products ready to sell. They're not manufacturing something. They don't have their own brand, their own label. And so they're looking for ways to get into e-commerce. Whereas the first step to selling online for them, for a lot of you guys, will be finding a product to sell. And this was actually a hurdle that I saw with myself, and I saw with so many of our students and community members who wanted to sell online, but they just didn't have something. And I've literally written books on this topic to try and help people. There's a free ebook download off our website, which you can download on this topic. And I then went one extra step, and I said, there's a lot of people in our community, many of our students who want to sell online and they're needing products. But I also know that in our community, there's a lot of very successful online sellers who have their own product ranges. And so a while ago, I reached out and I said, cool, like, who in this community of ours has products that they are willing to sell at a wholesale rate? So they have their own products and they have enough profit margin to be able to sell to other online sellers. Because here we have a great community, tens of thousands of people, where some people are looking for products, and we have, on the other hand, we have all of these other community members who have products and they want to grow their sales. And a great way for them to grow their sales is by selling to other online sellers who are then going to sell it on. And so we created this wonderful spreadsheet which just deals with this first challenge. If you are looking for products to sell online, then just go and find this free resource that I made available on the Insaka website. Just go to insaka.co.za/suppliers. And when you go there, then you get this spreadsheet of like 100 or more different suppliers in South Africa who have products, and they've put their hand up to say, yes, you can buy from them, you can take their products and you can sell it on the website. So you can go and check through that spreadsheet, go and find like hundreds of people, and you can see what jumps out at you, what you want to sell, what looks attractive. A lot of them do offer drop shipping, which is cool. And then you can just reach out to any ones that look really amazing to you, and you can start selling their products. And for me, I love that we created that kind of that win-win situation, because as I say, we know that what I've seen over the years is that one of the biggest hurdles to getting started is finding a product to sell online. And then we have all these other people who have products that they are already selling online. So this is a great solution. And really, I love that it helps to address one of the biggest challenges that people have. So if you are looking for a product to sell online and you are looking to get through step number one, which is find something to sell online, well, you now know how. Nsaka.co.za/supplies. It's a free list. You can go and get that right now or after you finish up this episode. But then that takes us into step number two. Once you have a product to sell, where do you go from there? Because now we need to create an online presence. We need to have a mechanism of which customers can find our products and browse our products and add it to their carts and check out and buy. And so this is where we need to select a e-commerce platform. Now, there are over 300 e-commerce platforms which actively promote themselves as being suitable for the South African market. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that most of them are not. Because when we are setting up a new online store from scratch, one of the two major priorities for somebody who is new to e-commerce, maybe this sounds familiar to you. When you're looking at an e-commerce platform, what you are assessing is whether it can do two things. Can I load my products, the products that we now have? Can I put my products on this website, and can I take payments in rands? Those are the two priorities for somebody who's new into e-commerce. And yes, pretty much all 300 of those different e-commerce platforms which advertise themselves as being suitable for the South African market, well, they can do that. But what about the rest of the stuff? What about the integrations with the South African courier partners? What about the integrations with South African service providers? What about just localization of having delivery postal codes and delivery addresses working correctly? Simple little details which are really only available on the more established platforms, and the startup or the other e-commerce platforms, which maybe they work well in Australia, America, Europe, but they don't all work very well over here. And so let me just shortcut this process for you, because as I say, this is all about the quick actions to take. And I can really just help you by narrowing down that list of 300 different options that you have. And I'll just narrow it down to the two that you should be selecting. You've got to make a decision between WordPress or Shopify. Those are the only two that you should be looking at for multiple different reasons. Because once you've added your products and once you can take payments, which all of those different e-commerce platforms can do, then you've got to start looking at the other functionality. And the other websites, well, they're going to fall short and you're going to get stuck if you went with those ones. Eventually, you're going to look at switching back to WordPress or Shopify. So we're going to start here. And when we choose between these two platforms, there is a lot of comparison, and there are people who are gung-ho on one or the other. There's lots of heated debates in my community about which is better, which is not. And this is never going to be a completed conversation, because people love one or the other. From my experience, and this comes from personal experience as well as seeing people in our community, the people who are most likely or better suited to WordPress are people who have a lot of experience with online and have a bit of coding experience. That certainly helps, because WordPress, you do need to be able to fine tune your code to be able to make the site look amazing. It also is more suitable to people who are willing to figure stuff out on their own. And I say that because with WordPress, it's a free platform, big winner. I'll get to that in a second. But as it's a free platform, there isn't support. So when you have a challenge, when you have a question, you can't just phone somebody or email somebody or jump into a live chat with a support agent. You need to figure it out. And so with WordPress, a lot of people are those guys who people who would rather take their engine apart themselves instead of taking it to the auto mechanic. And for people who want to figure stuff out, if that's like your jam, if that's what you love, then WordPress is perfect, because that's going to be where you're going. And of course, the pricing is a major factor, because WordPress, it is for free. Well, the e-commerce platform, WordPress with WooCommerce, you can get started absolutely free. Your hosting is going to cost you at least 99 Rand a year. So it's or a month, rather. So it's not absolutely free, because you're at least going to pay for your hosting. And then, of course, with WordPress, like once you get in there, like all the free services that you use and the free plugins and stuff, they do try and upsell you onto their paid platforms. But you can absolutely start great websites without a cost involved, which is awesome. With Shopify, on the other hand, there is a cost. It's $29 per month, as well as a 2% transaction fee. And yeah, that's a cost that a lot of people want to try and avoid when they're starting an online store. From my opinion, I don't look at that as a cost, rather an investment, because from my personal experience, Shopify has allowed me to be able to get my online stores up and running much quicker, get my products in front of customers much quicker, and to be able to get orders much quicker because it's very user friendly. There is support agents, there's phone calls, there's live chat, there's lots and lots of help. And it's just a lot easier to be able to navigate. And you also don't need to have coding background. So whichever one kind of feels more suitable to you, then that's a decision that you can make, and you can start progressing forward with that. The way that you can start taking those steps forward, well, I'll talk a bit more about that at the end of this discussion. So that's step number 2. Number 1 was to find a product. Number 2 was to decide on a website platform, an e-commerce platform, that we're going to be able to put these products on the internet and let people find them. Now that we have those products on the internet, we need a mechanism for people to pay us. Now, within South Africa, there's about 12 different payment service providers. Not all of them cater to e-commerce. Some of them are more catering to big businesses, to corporates, to governments and stuff. But there's a handful of great payment gateways, specifically speaking to e-commerce. And there's more and more actually popping up all the time. Previously, we polled our community. We put up several different polls, actually. And one of the questions was, dear community, which is the payment gateway that you use on your website? And the answer that came out as an absolute winner in terms of the most popular payment gateway from our tens of thousands of community members was PayFast. And coincidentally, it's also the payment gateway which I've used for at least 8 years. I don't even remember when I started with them, but I've always used them. They're amazing. And they will allow you to be able to, in a matter of moments, turn on payments on your website. So you can just register on the payfast.co.za website, then link up that payment gateway into your WordPress or your Shopify payment into your e-commerce platform. And now, Bob's your uncle, you've got payments online. So now, if we just backtrack quickly, we have products, we have a website, we have the ability to take payments, and now we can turn on our site. So really, this could be step number 4, but the step number 4 of turning on your site is really just making noise about it. So step number 4 for me is getting that first sale. So how do we go about getting that first sale? Because once we have our products online, we've got our products, we've got the website, we've got payments available. In that moment, like once your website's up and running like that, you have an online business. Like that is it. Those are the quickest steps to be able to get an online business up and running, because you literally have products available for sale on the internet where customers can come and find your website and they can buy stuff off you, and you are now ready to trade. I know I'm missing out a lot of steps. There's a lot of more trust factors and bits of detail that need to be added to the website. But as I promised, these are the 4 quick steps to be able to get those first few sales. And in terms of step number 4, of getting those first orders to come through the doors, to get those first emails where you got a legitimate customer order, somebody paid you through PayFast, and you've actually now got their money in your account and you're now running an online store. How do you get there? How do you get from that point of actually just making your site live to getting that first email saying that you have made money online? Well, here's the easiest way to do that. The easiest way to do that is to realize that it doesn't happen on its own. By putting your website live on the internet does not guarantee you anything. All that it means is that your website's live. It means that somebody might stumble across a website. But this is where a little bit of work comes in on your behalf. Because what we need to do and what we need to realize is that an online store needs traffic to get sales. And if I can put that into an offline, like brick and mortar context, if you can imagine a store that's running, that's a shopping center shop that's open, but there's no customers in the shop, then you know that that shop's not going to have any orders. The shop needs customers to walk through the door before they're going to get any orders. And we also know that not every customer who walks in the door is going to buy something. A lot of people are window browsing. A lot of people are researching. A lot of people are indecisive. And so we understand that when somebody walks in the door, that doesn't guarantee us a sale. Maybe they buy, maybe they don't. And with online, we also need to understand that in the beginning, especially, not every visitor is going to buy something. I wish that was the case. Maybe one day we'll get there, but right now, not even close. In fact, when it comes to selling online in South Africa, it takes on average 800 different visitors to your website before you can expect that first order. And maybe you're lucky. Maybe you get it after 100 visitors, but on average, you need 800 people to come to your site before you can reasonably expect your first order. And this is important because I see this as being like a stumbling block, a demotivator for a lot of people, because you're excited, you get your website live, you put it out there, you share your link on Facebook, you tweet it to a few people, you WhatsApp the link around to your friends and family, and there aren't any orders. And I know that hurts you, deep down, that hurts. But what we need to do and what we need to understand is, like, let's pay attention to those numbers. Whether you're using WordPress or Shopify, there are analytics available to you within WordPress and Shopify, and you can very easily track how many visitors you are getting to your store. And if you are feeling yourself being demotivated, that you're doing all this work, you're WhatsApping your link to people, and you're still not seeing that order, go and check your analytics. How many visitors have you had? Because if you've only had 250 visitors and you haven't yet had that first sale, don't be hard on yourself. Keep going. You need 800. And that's where we need to push to. So the easiest way, in terms of this quick discussion, the easiest way to get to that first sale is to focus on that number, 800 visitors. You get to 800 visitors, you're going to get a sale. And if you don't get a sale, that's a whole nother discussion, because then we need to look at your product, your website optimization, or a few other details. But in terms of getting that first sale, this is the easiest thing to do. Focus on those 800 visitors. When you get there, you'll get that first sale. And the way you can do this is just by going crazy, like just share your link wherever you can, send it to relevant people, ask them to send it to anybody who they think that might be interested. Get onto Facebook groups and share your links in there. If there's any relevant Facebook groups about the products that you're selling, if you can find forums or groups online or different websites, go and share your link there. If you can go to, if you know people who are involved in online events or offline events, see if you can get your link and your website in front of those people too. Wherever your potential customer is hanging out, get your link to them. Because when you can get your link in front of the right people and you bring them to your site, when they see your products, then it's just like those customers who walk into the store. Not everybody's going to buy, but there is a percentage of people who will buy. And when you just keep bringing more people into the site, that's when you start to see those orders come in. You get that first order, you get that second order, you get that third order, and then you know that you're onto something amazing. And when you get that, when those orders start to tick over, then that motivation kicks in, and it's going to motivate you and drive you to do even more and bigger things. And so that, for me, is the easiest 4 steps to get online, and in terms of the low-hanging fruits, the quick actions, and things you can do right now to get your website live. And I did say that I was going to circle back to how to be able to get the website built, because I know that I went past that one pretty quickly, and people often get caught up there. Like, how do I do that? Is that even possible? Is that something I could do? And for me, what I want to do is I want to offer you guys to join me for a 5-day challenge where I'm going to show you step by step how to build an online store for yourself. It's absolutely free, and it will just take 30 minutes per day. And hopefully you are listening to this during the week in which this episode goes out, because that means that you can just hop across to insaka.co today and you can book your free spot to join. If you're listening to this way later, then go to the website anyway, jump on our emailing list, and you'll know when the next one comes out, because we do this once or twice a year. And I love doing it, because in this time, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you step by step exactly how to register your online store, how to set up payments. I'll guide you through the process, step by step, step by step. I'll show you how, and then you can do it yourself. And if you have any questions, I'm there live. There's also a Facebook group where we can answer any questions that you have. So we're going to show you how to set up the e-commerce platform, how to set up your payments, how to put your products online. And if you don't have products, don't worry. I've got a supplier who is really cool, great products. She's crushing it online. And I'm going to give you a demo pack of her products that you can load up onto this new website of yours. And yes, if you want to sell it, you can. That's already set up for you. I'll also show you how to design this new website of yours. And I know that that's something that might seem really difficult or scary, or that you need to be a designer. And I'm the first one to say that this guy over here, I don't know anything about design. In fact, my team often laughs at the stuff that I used to create when we were just getting Insaka up and running. And that's the truth. But the truth is that that designing these websites, if I show you the easy way to do it, the shortcut, the low-hanging fruit, quick action wins, then you can also design a website which looks pretty amazing with little effort. And then on day 5 of the challenge, I'll show you how to take that website live. And when you do, as I said earlier, you would have created your own online store. You'll have a website up and running, which is live on the internet. Customers can come and find your website. They can find the products, and the payments are set up so they can buy stuff for you. And I set up that supplier for you. So you will have an online business up and running. And that's the challenge which we're going to be running in the next few days. It's a 5-day challenge. I challenge you to join me and to build your online store. It's absolutely free. I only do this once a while. And I want to invite you to go across to the ensaka.co.za website and go and register your free spot to join me for that 5-day challenge right now. So go book your spot, and I'll see you guys there.